What's going on, guys? Welcome back to part two. I hope you guys enjoyed this podcast. Just to give them an example, you get to see the samples that come through. Let's just say, for example, people probably watching our videos and then they order samples that night and then you guys pack them in the morning. That's kind of how it usually happens.
Yep.
So let's say you get per day in a retail store, maybe you get 5 to 10 customers walk in. Let's just say, for example, right? But when you have online business, you get probably about triple that per day.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong. I mean, sometimes, like, I do wonder, like, if I'm sending out this many samples, like, how many people are actually going to buy, at least in the beginning. But when you start to get the end results, or, like, you see, like, I had just closed, we just got an order for a customer that I sent them samples to 6 months ago.
Wow.
So, like, you may think, like, oh, it's a lost cause, but maybe they're just not ready yet. And they've just had because you know it as well as anyone that someone will have a color selected, but they're doing so many other things in their house that they're just not ready to buy the floor. They have nowhere to store it, or they don't want to spend that much money, like, right away, because they're doing other things. So people will have a color in mind, and they know they're going to get it, just not yet.
Yeah. Yes.
So you might think that you sent out a sample and it's a lost cause, but that customer will come back, or will, but like they might come back. You know what I mean? Because they were convinced on the product, or convinced on whatever they saw 6 months, a year ago, whatever it is,
Wow. So it's one thing that I don't think that people see the benefit, really the benefit of connecting through online. I don't think so, because like I said, we're I think one of the first companies to really dig deep into it. And as a privately owned company, we're able to do, things that these huge companies aren't able to do, because I think, like, for example, if you look at LL Flooring, or big box stores that are in the flooring industry, I noticed that a lot of the people working at these places, they're controlled by their management, meaning that they can't make videos. They can't tell and teach people about other things they've learned in being in that company. And I think that because of that is the reason why privately owned flooring companies, or a business owner that has his own flooring store, has more potential today to grow much faster compared to a big box store. Would you agree?
Yeah, no, well, for sure, obviously the potential to grow, for sure. But at the same time, like, when you look at videos from those big companies, they're kind of like, they're muted. They're not very entertaining. Mm-hmm. They're kind of like just like advertisements. They feel like advertisements. They don't feel like authentic social media videos. And don't get me wrong.
And I don't mean to cut you off again. I noticed too, like, in the content, the way that they talk, like what you're saying, they sound like
scripted.
Yeah. Yes, they don't sound like how we're talking right now.
No,
I didn't write this. Oh, you know what? I have to say this, and no. Do you have anything to write that you wrote down? No. It's a real human conversation about what we've experienced. I think if big box stores really focused and really let their employees experience and talk about what they're experiencing being day to day in the store, I think they would get a lot more sales. What do you think?
I think it would just come off at least more authentic. Like when I watch some videos, it looks like they're reading off of a teleprompter.
Dang.
Like it does, and I'm like, that's like, you might as well have just done a commercial, like, on TV.
Yeah.
Because that's not like, people go to social media to see something that's like authentic. You know what I mean? They don't go to see scripted things. Like, that's what you go to watch on TV for.
Dan, you said that to me one time.
And it's true, though, because people like the authenticity of you being you. Like, they could tell that you don't like gray floors.
Yeah.
And it's true. You know what I mean? And it's not like it's scripted, and I think that's why people like it, or people buy into it, because they know that you're speaking your mind. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And even though we have colors in here that you hate, and that's fine. Like, you'll say it, or like I have colors, or like we have colors in here that I don't like, and I'll say it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they would never let you do that at big stores. They'd be like, you can't talk bad about this product.
Yes,
you need
you're
to
right.
just talk
You're right.
good about everything that we have, and you need to basically be like a cheerleader.
Oh my goodness, I like that how you said that.
But we're honest.
Yeah. Yes. So we're not cheering every single color, saying that they all sell and they all the best colors.
No.
You're right. You're right. So, okay. So the one thing that a lot of people are curious about is how was the experience during COVID?
In the beginning, I was like, in the beginning it was like a little slow when everyone was still a little scared, like when they shut everything down.
Yeah.
But like a month after, once everyone
We
was
didn't
like,
close our stores.
no. But like when everything else got closed down and there was no traffic on the freeways and stuff, you know? Like we were obviously always open. We were essential.
Yeah.
But it was like weird when there was obviously like material shortages. Like we were lucky enough that
You're
we
right.
had material in stock, but a lot of places didn't, like special order places, or it was hard to get new material in. So we were like one of the few people, at least like in our area, that had decent stock. And the prices just kept going up, and everyone just kind of kept paying for it, and there was no real room for negotiation because it was COVID. You know,
And
what
you
I
didn't
mean?
have any materials. Whatever you had people
Because
had to take.
there was a shortage, just like cars.
just
you
like
know,
cars,
just
you're
like
right.
cars. Like everything else, like has gone up. The flooring went up too because not everyone had flooring, and even if you wanted to get new flooring, it would take so long to get it because all the factories had shut down. So it's like if no one's working, how are you gonna get new stuff? So you have to sell whatever you have at a higher price. You know.
Yeah.
And
Well,
I think like unless like people are in like the business of buying and selling like from overseas or rebuying and selling, like you would never really like. I think people just think, oh, the prices have gone up because people are greedy or whatever. It's like, no, I mean, it's an unfortunate thing that happened, and now just everything is so much more expensive. You know,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
Yeah.
Like-
yeah. The same way at that time, do you remember? I remember pumping gas into my car, and the gas prices were around $3.29,
Yeah,
$3.79. Do you remember that?
Well,
It was during COVID.
Gas was low because demand was low because people were working at home, so the gas prices went down. So, and that's to explain for that. Now gas is like over $5 here
Yeah, in Cali.
in California.
Yeah, $5.50, and it goes up to $6 once in a while.
Depending on where you're at, yeah.
Yeah.
But-
So during COVID, I remember the COVID times. It was like people would walk in, and it got to a point where it was getting busier and busier and busier. We could talk about when it slowed down and everybody was panicking. That I think people want to forget about.
Yeah.
The whole wearing the masks and everyone had to go get tested and everyone was sick and all of that. I think we experienced that. That was crazy, right?
Yeah.
But once COVID started kind of like, I guess, being controlled, I think people realized, hey, I can go social distance as long as long as I'm 6 feet away.
Once people were allowed to like eat outside,
Yes.
it was kind of like
it was a free for all.
it was like a free for all. It was kind of weird because like people were controlled but kind of not really, you know. And like, well, as it correlates to our business, like a lot of people were doing things in their house, you know,
Yes,
like
yes.
and it became very popular to be a DIYer. You
Yes.
know what I mean?
Yes.
And
A
then-
lot of influencers blew up like
and
that.
And then the rates for houses were low, so everyone was buying houses. You know
You're
what I
right,
mean?
you're right.
So, and there was a point in time when that was happening, but some of the things were still cheap. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Now everything's super expensive, so everything's kind of halted. But there was a time because like, I bought my first condo during like 6 months after COVID started. You know, because the rates were so low and it was so easy.
What rate did you get?
The first one, 2.5, I think.
Uh-huh.
You know,
I remember you came into my office and you asked me, you're like, Roger, what do you think? What would you do in this situation? I said, buy it.
I know you told me to buy it. And I was like, but the world is crazy right now. But you know, everyone that did buy, they're happy. You know,
Yeah.
right now.
And then you ended up, tell them, you ended up selling it.
So I bought it the 2020, the first year of COVID. So low, and then after 2 years, it went up, and I flipped it, and I bought a house. Like,
Yeah.
you know, with that money. So it was cool. Obviously, the rate of my house is like 5%, so it's not crazy high. Like right now, they're throwing out like 7s. You know,
8s. I've seen that, yeah.
So I mean, I bought it 2 years ago, but it was right before they jumped up to 7. You know, but like sometimes like my girlfriend will complain to me like, oh, inflation this, inflation that. I'm like, yeah, but inflation was the only reason that we live where we are now, because I was able to flip my last place.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But
So
and get a decent down payment. You know, for my house in California, I was able to throw 20%.
Dang, on your next house.
On my next
And
house.
let them know how old you are, because I think a lot of people don't understand how important that is. You didn't get any handouts. You didn't come from a family with a lot of millions of dollars. Just here, Tony, here's
Yeah.
free money, here.
Yeah.
How young are you?
I'm 28.
28. You already have your second house in Cali.
Yeah.
Cool. So I think that I think that that's important to talk about, because it shows more of that person that you really became. You were young. I remember you came to me and asked me questions about what would you do in this situation. And I told you, look, take advantage of it. I don't care if it's COVID times. I don't care what time it is. You need to jump on real estate. You need to make moves in your life. And you made moves and you benefited from it.
It'll pay off. Like especially like, the thing is, it's all about being lucky too. Like, of course, like there's always a time and a place, you know, and that would just happen to be the perfect time and place, you know.
Yeah. But most people hold back. I think most people hold back in their lives.
They're scared,
Yeah.
you know. And don't get me wrong, it is scary, you know. Like when I went to go drop when you go to put your deposit at the bank, it's 3%, and you have to wire it. You're like,
where's this money gonna go?
where is it going? You know, I've never spent this much money all at once before, you know. And but it is what it is. Like, that's what you have to do, you know. And it's funny, like, it's so scary for someone when it's their first time. I'm sure you felt that way too. Like when you go to wire like the 3% at first, and you're like, fuck, this is so much money. But then you talk to other people, especially because we're in the flooring industry. We talk to like realtors and flippers, and they're like, they do it all the time like it's nothing, you know. And so, and now that I've done it twice, like I talked to, like, I remember when Martin was going through buying his thing, I'm like, no, this and this and this is gonna happen. You know?
Yes.
And you give other people like that confidence of, oh, okay, like this is a part of the process, or this is normal.
Yes.
Because when you're at first, you're like, oh, what do I do? What if like I send an inspector out and I don't like what, can I pull out? You know, you don't know, like all that stuff kind of goes through your mind, you know?
Yeah.
But now that you've done it at least once, you know, you're kind of more confident with possibly doing it again or whatever, if it makes sense, you know?
Yeah. So, okay, let's get into the how the experience is online when the customer calls in and saw your videos. We'll go back to that. So when the customer calls in and they say, "Hey, I saw a floor on one of your videos," do you guys automatically just tell the customer, "Oh, here, let me just send you samples," or how do you deal with that customer? And a little bit of sales goes into the pitch, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of really depends. Like, the main question is, like, when do you need it? Some people will see a video and then, oh, okay, like, I like Niobe. Okay, well, what's your situation? Are you remodeling right now? Or, well, I'm still building. I'm still getting the plans done.
So they got time.
Okay, that's fine. That's perfectly fine, you know. And it'll really depend. You know, obviously, you're probably not going to need it for, like, another year, you know? Some people are, yeah, you know, I'm ready right now. What's the price? And you know, it'll kind of depend. The online sales are pretty clean and easy. There's like very minimal questions because a lot of the people that call have already seen a lot of the videos, so they know a lot of the things about the floor. And I think especially like the younger people, like I know me, like I'll see something on a video that like if I don't know about it, and I'll Google like, oh, like, is that correct, or kind of do my own homework too, you know, and then, okay, well, this checks out. You know, this is obviously cool, and if I like the color, then I'll order the sample. At least that's me, and I'd like that's kind of the vibe I get from a lot of customers because they don't have a lot of those questions. Like the questions that the customers get in, they seem to be a little more educated, probably because of the videos. Maybe, you know, like I said, they're doing their own research too, but a lot less questions, like for sure. On that kind
So
of
you're
stuff.
saying that there's less questions from the homeowner when they call in versus 5 years ago?
Yes.
So when they call in, you're saying because of the videos, people are calling into your store already knowing what they want to buy?
Already semi-educated, yeah.
Because of your videos?
Because of the videos, yeah.
Wow, so they've gone through the experience without having to even visit your store of what it's going to be like before they even get on the phone with you.
Yeah.
That's what you're saying.
Like they'll already know, like the customer that would walk in that didn't know the difference between a laminate and a vinyl, if they've seen our videos, they should already know. So
tell them so that they understand. Tell them the difference between, and we've talked about a walk-in customer that's never visited your store or a customer that's ever talked to you on the phone before. Explain the difference between the customer that walks through the door that's never met you and tell them the difference between the customer that walks through the door, that's saw your videos and meet you for the first time in person, and then also explain the customer that calls you. So we'll go into it.
Like if a customer recognizes you, I mean,
From the videos,
there's already like a sense of they believe obviously what you're saying kind of already, and they just kind of want to hear the specifics, like maybe of specifics of whatever you didn't get into the video because it's too specific, but like, oh, like, hey, I saw you on this. You talked about thickness, or you talked about this. Like, can you tell me a little bit more about that?
In person
In
or
person,
over the phone?
or over the phone, you know?
Yeah.
Or like, there's people that have called and say, hey, can I talk to Tony? Oh, hey, Tony, I saw your video about this. You know, can you talk to me a little bit more about this? Versus the customer that walks in, they don't even know you. They don't even know if you know anything. You know what I mean? They
Damn.
like, is this guy even qualified?
Wow.
You know what I mean? Versus other people that have already seen, like, they already kind of know what you talk about and what you know. They know your level of.
So they kind of feel like they know you, is what you're saying.
Yeah, well, at least they know that they can trust on whatever you're talking about, at least when it comes to flooring, you know?
Wow. Wow.
Versus some customers that walk in, they're like, I feel like sometimes they think this guy's trying to just sell me something. You know what I mean? Which, understandable. You know, I understand why people think that. But it's just a different vibe when you see a customer or when you talk to a customer that has seen your videos versus someone that doesn't even know who you are. It's different, you know?
Wow. This is powerful stuff, Tony. This is powerful stuff.
Well, I'm sure you know what I'm talking about.
I know exactly what you're saying. I know it because I've experienced customers, like I told you the story earlier about the young little girl telling her parents about flooring. When the customers come through the door and they recognize me and they say, Roger, I've seen you in the videos. I'm really thankful for your education through your videos. I'm thankful for all the information. I get all the DMs from people telling me they're thankful for all my videos and being so honest and all that stuff. And when they actually meet me in real life, they feel like they know me.
Yeah.
And I treat them like as if I know them because I know they're watching my videos, especially when they walk through the door and they look at you, they're like kind of shocked to see you.
Like,
you notice that?
yeah.
So when they see, they're like, "Oh my, is that the guy in the videos?"
Yeah.
So it's kind of like not starstruck, and it's not that I'm special or I'm like this special guy or you're a special celebrity on our videos. It's not that. It's just that they already feel like they've met you.
It's weird to see someone like on your screen and then in person.
Yeah.
You're like someone that you've never like. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
yeah.
So I really think that a lot more flooring stores and a lot of business owners that have any business should be jumping on this opportunity. It's free. It's free. I'm not selling you anything. Yeah. I'm just telling you, hey.
It takes 5 to 10 minutes out of your day, you know, to just post a video. You never know, you know?
You don't know who's watching.
Yeah.
That's the craziest part about social media. You don't know who's watching. And it's like, and I think people are kind of scared of that, I think. People are scared, like, if you have enemies out there, okay, that's your problem. You know what I mean? But or maybe you had a bully growing up, or maybe you had someone that you were scared of, or maybe your mom or dad or your cousin or someone that told you're not good enough is going to be watching, or they're going to tell you something when you go to a family function, and they're going to say, what are you doing making videos? You look like an idiot. You know?
I've gotten that. Not the idiot part, but I've gotten like, oh, Tony's making flooring videos.
Yeah, right?
You know?
I had one of my friends, actually, he was a close friend, and I don't hang out with him anymore, but I'll tell you right now. He told me to just kind of tell you, kind of show you how people are. People are watching, okay? You have contacts in your phone, and your phone knows how to connect your contacts to people that are watching you.
Yep.
And so when you go live or you post a video, you don't think that the people that know you or the history of who you were when you were 16 years old, they're still connected if you had the same phone number, things like that,
Yeah,
right?
Like people you might know.
Yes,
You know?
yes.
And then it'll pop up.
So I remember one time going to a function, and a friend of mine was like, Roger, I was watching your live. Ha, 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 ha. It was so funny. I was commenting. I was saying these things like, oh, my God, is that Roger? I remember Roger when we were kids. Dude, I'm not the same guy. What are you talking about? And then I have family members that I meet up with at family functions, other people nowadays. They're older than me. Oh, my God, Roger, I see on social media, like, you're blowing up and stuff like that. I'm like, cool, thanks. But it's not that serious. It's not that serious. I'm not Ben Affleck. I'm not anybody. I'm just a guy talking about and teaching about flooring. Same thing you're doing.
Yeah, no.
You know what I mean?
I think some people that don't do it, I think they think they like we do it maybe because we want to be famous, and it's not because of that. It's literally just for the company. It's, you know what I mean?
That's it. Exposure. It benefits our company.
Yeah,
it benefits us. That's why we do it.
Yeah, it's not like for anything else.
No. So if, like I said, at the end of the day, so I want to close this this podcast today with some closing comments. Do you have any advice for flooring owners or someone that's working at a flooring store or any type of retail store owner inside a sell or even a salesperson? Do you have any advice for those people that have that type of lifestyle, living, working, or being in a business or retail store? What kind of advice can you give those people, Tony?
Just take 5 to 10 minutes out of your day and make a video. Like that's really it. I mean, like if you want to channel another avenue for your brand, if you own the brand, you should be more motivated than anyone. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Or if you let's say own a brand and you don't feel comfortable being in videos, like get someone to make videos for you.
There you go.
Pay someone to make videos for you.
There you go.
Or if you're a salesperson, I mean, make videos for yourself. Like you get paid off the sales. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Or if you're a sales rep, make the video. Say, I just set up this rack here. I don't know. You know, the sky's the limit on what you can do. You know what I mean? There's obviously.
Do you think people are scared? Or what do you think the problem is?
I think people are like a little scared.
Embarrassed, or what's the issue?
It could be like embarrassed. Like they're slightly like maybe embarrassed. They don't want to put themselves out there, which I understand. But I think a lot of people at the same time like don't care enough. There's a lot of people that don't care. Like they just kind of like, yeah, like I'm happy with, like you had mentioned it kind of earlier. There's a lot of people that, no, I'm happy with my sales right now, and that's fine. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that are comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I think that's kind of it. If you want to take the extra time out of your day to do it, cool. If not, then, or if you're a company owner and you want to spend the money to do it, like pay someone to do it, then cool. If not, it is what it is. You know, like you're just gonna be left behind.
Can you let the viewers know that when you're making videos, it's not like when you were 7 years old and you were at the top of the stage and your parents and your whole family's in the audience watching you, or all the 6th graders or 5th graders or 4th graders or 3rd graders while there was an assembly in school and you were at the front and you had a microphone like this one and you're looking at everybody like, it's not like that, is it?
No, I mean, it's usually just you. You know, like I film videos kind of by myself, like holding my phone, or have, Turbo, hold the camera. It's nothing like that. And at first you might feel a little like nervous to look at the camera, but after a couple of videos, it'll go away.
Can you tell people how you explain when we first started talking about making videos, how you said there's a lot of people that don't know where to put their hand? What you saying?
Like in Talladega Nights, she's like, what do I do with my hands? And because like other people will go like this, or they don't know what to do with their hands, or you'll see people kind of fidget with their hands. And I'm sure I do it too. Like there's kind of things that I do like in my videos that I'll catch. I'm like, oh, but that's just you being you.
Yeah.
And that's the whole point.
Yes. That makes you even more human.
That's the whole point, is to be authentic. Not to be scripted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll go ahead and give any more advice to a business owner, and even any designer in our industry, flooring industry, anybody that has a business. I really, really, really recommend, if you guys are watching, me and Tony are living, experienced people doing this every single day. And if you have a flooring store and you're thinking about making content because your business is not doing well, you need to take advantage of this opportunity because it's free. You don't have to pay advertising to anybody. You don't have to go and pay Yelp or Google ads or any of that stuff. It's free. All you got to do is pull out your cell phone and make video and then just upload it on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, wherever you feel comfortable making content. The goal here is not to embarrass yourself. It's not to get made fun of. The goal, and you're going to have people in your comments saying dumb things, and that's fine.
Yeah.
But that's just life. The same way you're out in normal life and someone honks at you because you didn't see the green light. It's the same thing.
Yeah, that's like a perfect example.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's not that you're embarrassed or you don't look good enough or your eyes are not pretty enough or your hair is not good enough. No, just do the video. If you have something knowledgeable to teach people, do it, because your opportunity you might miss your opportunity. Yeah. So those are my closing comments to that. And Tony, I always appreciate talking to you and enjoying the podcast with you. And I will see you and them on the next one.
All right.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Peace.